What's wrong with you? Take a bunch of muscle relaxers? Stand on a fault line? Where are your eyes? Look back my skull. I can see my brain right now. It's like an episode of House. And Jay Leno is the only guy on earth who could have a bobblehead made and would bobble less than his actual head. And I said that to Jay on the Tonight Show one time. The last time. And, that was one of those times Frank should have just been quiet. Jay got me back, though. They'll tell the story. During the Super Bowl a few years ago, they showed me and my wife, talked about this a little bit. Third quarter of the game, every guy I know texted me the same thing. Dude, your wife is hot. And I told that to Jay. He's like, yeah, but she just didn't text your wife was getting, hey, honey, who's that fat guy sitting next to you? And I was like, touche. That's touche for the knucklehead. Let's go to the mall, grab ourselves some Rosetta Stones. Holla at Francois, knucklehead. Who else did I meet? I met Dr. Phil. On purpose. I'll slow down and let that sink in for you. That's how you want to meet Dr. Phil, on purpose. You don't want to meet him on accident, because that means you're on TV, and your family's not going to talk to you for a while. Because Dr. Phil always starts out so nice. He's very inviting. But as soon as you say you're okay, he completely changes. He's like, hey, dude, is everything okay? Can I get you water? I'm fine. All right, then, what were you thinking? What is your problem? Face gets all contorted. There's a vein popping out of his forehead. Somehow that's yelling at you, too. You're a moron. You're a vein in his forehead. How can you talk television? It's magical. When I met Dr. Phil, I wasn't on the show. I've explained that to people. I tell people I met Dr. Phil, like, were you on the show with other people who talk to themselves? Me and Dr. Phil, Frank, you gotta stop pretending to be other people and just be yourself. Hey, I'll stop pretending to be other people as soon as you stop pretending to be a doctor. Let's take medical advice from Dr. Pepper. When I met Charles Barkley, or Sir Charles, as he's known throughout the knighthood, and by his dungeon master, a couple of gamers here.
I believe I saw some orcs on the way in. I was able to infiltrate them, take over their castle, and hook up with some totally awesome elf chicks.
If you're laughing at that, there's a pretty good possibility we'll be trading cards after the show.
Gaining some valuable experience points.
When I met Charles Barkley, I walked up to him and I was like, say hello to Mini-Me. And I was like, you do not sound like me at all. That's a terrible, really bad impression, Mr. Colladino. I'm like, it's Cali. And it's like, I couldn't care less. Of all the people that I met doing an impression of, he's probably had the most fun with it. Probably about 4 months ago or so, we did an event for the Phoenix Suns charities, which is a cool thing to be part of, and all the best Suns, the Suns greats were there. Now they were basically in the audience, and I was doing a little bit on stage. So, but here's what happened. So I set it up with Barkley, with Charles, in the dressing room before the show. Like, here's what I want to do. I'm going to go up on stage. I'm going to do about 3 minutes about you. Then I'm going to do 25 minutes of other stuff. And then I'm going to come back and do a couple minutes about you at the end. That's when you come up on stage, you make fun of me, and you win the night. He's like, that sounds really, really good. I'm up on stage for a minute and a half. The next thing I know, he's standing next to me. And I look at him like, what are you doing up here? He's like, I couldn't take it anymore. Everybody told me I had to get up here and defend myself. And then he had this great line, don't you have anything better to do than sit around your house pretending to be me? And I looked at her and I was like, don't be ridiculous. He's like, that's ridiculous. I don't say ridiculous. I said, you just did, knucklehead. He said, that's terrible. A former athlete shouldn't say something like that. Athletically inclined. Well, that's when Frank decides to take a quick break. See, that's what comedians do when they're not sure what they're going to talk about next. They pretend to drink from the Dr. Pepper. You guys get very serious very fast. You guys are like, what's next? What was that? Bring it up. Well, I was ready. What do you got, Sonny? I'm not a jukebox. You can't start yelling stuff out. We'll do that at the end. If I haven't gotten to your favorite, you're like at the strip club. You get your own individual one at the end. Look at that look at us. Never been to one of those.